Well, first of all, what does it mean, getting it? Or really another word is waking up. Waking up is a very simple thing. You see things as they actually are. In other words, to see the obvious. Okay, what is obvious that surpasses our awareness? Okay? You find yourself getting depressed or angry and reactive without realizing that it was a thought that created that motion in your body because it flared up certain things from the past. So, what is waking up? Seeing a thought as a thought, not reality. You see, we take thoughts as reality. We identify with them immediately. A thought is a thought. That's clarity. An emotion is an emotion. It has no power over you except you give it attachment. You give it credibility. You get involved in it. Another thing is, the past is the past. Our whole makeup, our whole personality is identified with the past. Your accomplishments, your ideas, your relationships that you've had, experiences as a child, everything is based on the past, to the point that we forget that the only time we've got is now. This is waking up, seeing the obvious. The past is the past. Leave it very simple. Another thing, we believe in a me. And all the arguments and everything that happens to you, the experiencer, every problem, every fear that you have is because you believe in a me. But do you know, seeing the me, that there is no me, is a very simple thing? What is it made up of? And every psychologist can, even psychologists can tell you that. It is made up of a self-image based on the past. Because in this moment, in this very moment, where is the me? Ask yourself right now. There is only aware space. Now you see, so this is the reality. This is knowing what is real. Is that this moment is all that there is. And then what happens, the mind identifies with the present. The now and the present are not exactly the same. For example, in the present there are experiences, there are stories, there are things that are happening. The now is the space in which the present happens. Are you with me? Think of a large pot. Okay, large pot. What is the basis of this large pot? What is the utility of this pot? Is emptiness, right? Right? The emptiness of the pot is, but you see, the emptiness is empty. But when you put stuff into the pot, it will contain it all. The stuff in the pot is very important, but the reason you can cook it, you can play with it, you can prepare things is because of the space. Similarly with now. Now is the container of everything that is present. When you begin to see yourself as that container, that is the sacred self. You see? And the moment you begin to live from that, you are free. You are free from everything. You're free even from yourself. In other words, the fears, prejudice, bigotry, feeling hurt, offended, angry. You see, you become free. And it's not that difficult. But what happens is that we get it and we see everything is so clearly for a moment. And it's a very celebrated feeling. But then you lose it because you say, I got it. You see? And the moment you say, I got it, what happens is that you make the experience you. So even though you see that now is all that there is, because it's a very simple thing to see now, isn't obvious? Yet you think, now is all that there is, and I am in it. No, now is all that there is. There is no me in it. The me is the now itself. But because you identify it with the me, it opens up a Pandora's box. Is that the word? It opens up the whole past. And anything that hasn't been resolved surfaces. The inner guide, I call it Bhagavan, gave me the name of what surfaces, and he called it living question. Okay? Now, the word living question is a very apropos here, and it can give you a lot of insight. Living means that whatever has happened in the past is living in you now in a cellular memory. So if as a child you were rebuked, or you weren't loved, well, you carry that in your body now. As you probably know, because you're a body worker, right? You carry in your body, in a cellular memory now. It's living now, presently. The reason we call it living question is because, not because it's a question mark, it's because it's a quest. Question, quest. Okay? So therefore, what you are living in feels like, oh, something is missing. There is something wrong with me. Therefore, I want to make up for it. So if I'm missing love, I'm going to look for a lover. If they love me, I'll feel okay. You see? If I'm missing a sense of inadequacy, maybe I go for power, more money, more and more and more. Materialism, you see? That's the quest. If you happen to be interested in satsang, then you say, I want to be enlightened. And you seek enlightenment. And of course we missed the now. Because the now is complete. There is no future. Did you know that the future is a misnomer? There's no such thing. Tomorrow never comes. You see? But we have to be very still, very clear. Where is tomorrow? And when it does come, isn't it now? Okay? So in other words, we have to allow to see the obvious. It takes courage. Why does it take courage? Because you are a human being. Now, I'd like you to listen to the following, because this is extremely important. Okay? You are a human being. That will teach you everything. The human always, listen to this, always resists the being. The human always resists the being. You are a human being. Why does it resist the being? Because through that resistance, when it's accepted, brings you to being. You see? But if you don't resist it, then we call it dysfunction. You see? Then we call it a problem personality, a complex personality. We call it even insanity. So this is why resistance is the sacred way of life to teach us what doesn't work. To get to know your resistance is to get to know your love. Now let me give you an example of how people resist. This is a booklet that you can get on the table. And these are some of the quotes that I've been getting. How we resist the being. I can't help asking why or how, to the point of sucking myself into the mire again. Now remember last week we discussed that everybody asks, why is this happening to me? Why am I suffering? Instead of asking, what is suffering? The word what is never ever in the person's mouth who is awakened. And the reason is because I don't care why or how. I want to know what is. By understanding what is. You see, why is always personal. How is always personal. Why is an escape from the truth. How is an avoidance of love, a responsibility to love. We discussed that last week, okay? For those of you that haven't heard it, we ask how because we don't know how to love. How many books have been written how to have a great relationship, how to love your partner, how to make friends, how to make love? Do you need all that when you have love in your heart? Of course not. But we ask it because we don't want to take responsibility to be loving. You see? So we want an easy way out. But of course it doesn't work. But if you ask what is, then it gets you right into the nucleus of it, right into the center of it. You see? And when you begin to ask what is, the inner teacher inside you begins to become alive. And it will teach you more than you've ever could realize the possibility of it. Ask always, what is this? And then leave it. Don't reach for an answer, because it's only your mind will reach for an answer by going to the past. You see? Just ask, what is this? And the moment you ask that, and leave it, Just rest in the knowledge that the silence within you will guide you. And either the next day or the day after or that very same evening, you begin to get insights. And those insights are what is called from the inner teacher.